Actually, this whole video thing is just a cover up. We shoot people. Shot the intern in the face.
Cruising all around the town. How much to fuck me with this gun in your head?
You better start talking, man. And put it back up, man. I won't say nothing.
What the hell did y'all do? He's dead!
Malachi, wake up!
Fucking yuck.
Bad bitch coming out, but they making money low key. Break them all by the door, stack them all.
You need to fuck with a real one. You need to fuck with a real one. You need to fuck with a real.
You know what it is, ladies and gentlemen, Tax G. We talking about that brand new project, I'm Me. Shout out to the whole Team Mermaid. Team Mermaid swimming in money, baby. Cypher Sounds, Hot 97, The Movement. My brother Drewski is with me, let's do this.
They can never fully understand. I ain't have a choice, so I took a chance. I got a temper, I ain't into making friends. But B got me in the label shaking hands. What's up with y'all? Bitch, I'm from Jersey. That's where I got the scar on my face. Purple heart on my face, that's where I caught my first case. I'm in that Audi R8 with them Florida plates. With my mermaid, no Ariel. Shit real, no fairy tale. Two choices, head to jail. Fuck the cops, free the rail. Little mama, she thick as hell. On sight, I don't need a scale. Give a fuck how people feel. Celebrating, elevating, more liquor for me to spill. Working on my people. I don't wanna make it rain outside. I mean, really make it rain outside. To bring your kids inside. Cause all my niggas getting money outside. We leave them wet, wet like a waterfall. Wet, wet like a waterfall. Wet, wet like a waterfall. Wet, wet. We leave them wet, wet like a waterfall. 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 We leave them wet, wet like a waterfall. Wet, wet like a waterfall. Wet, wet like a waterfall. Wet, wet. We leave them wet, wet like a waterfall. Wet, wet like a waterfall. Wet, wet like a waterfall. Wet, wet. Rain outside. Is all my niggas getting money outside. Outside. Wet, wet like a waterfall. We leave them wet, wet like a waterfall. Wet, 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 wet like a waterfall. Mr. I'm a rock and roller. I do this every single day now that I'm a smoker. Wait, hold up, what you talking about? If you ain't put up on his blood, then shut your fucking mouth. Bad boy, no Sean John. Fitted hat with a long john. Her titties out with no thong on. She gon' twerk with her song on. Real pimpin' going on. She outside for the thunderstorm. Hurricane, what's her name? Oh yeah, yeah. She took a 10-hour plane all the way from Europe, all the way to USA just for me to stroke her. I'm about to bubble all the way like I shook a soda. I mean, what more can I say? We leave them wet, wet like a waterfall. Wet, wet like a waterfall. Wet, 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 wet like a waterfall. We leave them wet, wet like a waterfall. 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 We leave them wet, wet like a waterfall. Wet, wet like a waterfall. Wet, 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 wet like a waterfall. We leave them wet, wet like a wet, 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 wet like a wet, 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 wet. We leave them, we leave them, we leave them.
Coming out, but they making money low key. Break them all by the door, stack them all.
I'm feeling myself like a Mac Dre, but even better, I'm Tax G. I look in the mirror and see a real nigga, and all of you bitches should want me. I'm pimping you, see with no bun beat. You curious, baby.